I have been very critical of Teofimo Lopez over the duration of the past while in the way he decides to become this villain role and build his brand and build his ability to want to be marketed in a sense that, let's just be honest, that is not right. That's disrespectful. That is a horrendous way of doing it. But I want to highlight this. Edgar Berlanga he obviously can be questionable in some of the things he does. I think he's displaying currently how to be the villain role in boxing. When you watch that press conference, Edgar Berlanga builds up and is acting the way that a villain should roll. And I feel like this in boxing has been so confused. There are so many ways to be a villain role in boxing, other than doing things that are racial, that are doing things that are inappropriate, doing things that are illegal, whatever it might be. There are ways of doing this the right way. And I think Edgar Berlanga is doing it the right way. You can disagree with it. You can make yourself hate him because that's obviously what his intention is. But at the end of the day, you can't not deny the fact that Edgar Berlanga is very, very entertaining. He made that press conference entertaining yesterday. He was exciting. He was hilarious. And I think when you watch that, you can make your opinion on him. But Edgar Berlanga is doing it the right way. And he is very easy to clown and make fun of. But at the same time, we have to remember this. Boxers' goals is to get clicks. Whether it is to be funny, to get made fun of, to be criticized, whatever, it's to get clicks. The more clicks, the more impressions you get, the larger your name and image becomes. And Edgar Berlanga is doing that the right way. Edgar Berlanga is a good fighter. I do not think he's one of those elite guys. Will he become a world champion? Possibly. When Canelo Alvarez retires, the belts open up. Who knows what's going to happen? But he's clearly a big gap behind Canelo Alvarez, and we'll see if he can even get past the likes of Hamza Shiraz or Caleb Plant, so on and so forth. But he will continue to be a guy that guys want to fight. Why? Because of his name, the way he builds up fights, what he does for social media. And I've heard so many guys that are at 168 talk to me on the show now and say, I want to fight him. And I'll be like, okay, great. So everybody just wants to fight this guy. Why? Well, it's quite simple. He knows how to build a fight and it makes guys money. It's nothing, for the most part. There are times he's been criticized. You could make sense of saying things have not been right. But for the most part, what he does is he gets clicks the right way and he brings attention to the sport and the fight. He's what a promoter wants to have hired. Not something that's going to be excessively controversial, but still controversial in the right sense. And that's why we see the Canelo Alvarez fight was, while he did just run around and try to make it through 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, Edgar Berlanga did have a game plan. And it was still an entertaining-ish fight. And the build-up was very, very entertaining. And you talk about the fact for this fight now. Once again, very, very entertaining. And we're still about a month and a half, 2 months out from the fight now. The way that he goes about his business is to make sure that people are talking about him. And it's not in a too vulgar or bad way, but he does it the right sense. It's going to get more and more attention on his fights, his opponents, and in return, that brings in more money to boxing and ultimately for his paycheck and his opponent's paycheck. And I think that's what we have to look at. So, too many boxers have lost sight of how to properly promote yourself and how to properly and respectfully, in a certain sense, go about your business so that you become the person that is marketable. They've decided to go down these ways that just don't need to be brought into boxing. Berlanga is doing it the right way. And I do respect that because it was entertaining. Now, a lot of people are going to hate him for it, and I get that. That's part of his game plan. But it's not in a sense that I can't stand this guy. He's disgusting. How does he even say those things? It's in a way that's just annoying. And that's fine for boxing. It's exciting for boxing. I think back to one final thing I want to make a point on this is when he lost to Canelo Alvarez, or in his opinion, he won the night by being able to go for 12 rounds with an all-time legend. He went back home. And the iconic picture of Edgar Berlanga comes up where he is doing the FaceTime video type of picture, and he has all the people riding out with him. A victory ride out, you could say, when he just lost. That picture has been surfaced within boxing communities time and time again. It is hilarious. Who the heck in the world would ever want to go celebrate going 12 rounds to the last 12 rounds? Not 12 great rounds, 12 rounds of running. That's Edgar Berlanga for yourself. It makes no sense. It's confusing, but at the same time, it's hilarious to see. We can all have funny conversations about it, and you can view him and judge him for how he is as a boxer however you want to. But it keeps people talking about him, and that's how you're supposed to do business when you're trying to be a promoter's dream, and that's what Edgar Berlanga has done. So regardless of what occurs on July 12th against Hamza Shiraz, my bet for you is that Edgar Berlanga will be in position to have another big fight. He will be in position to go fight another guy. Hopefully Caleb Plant, who I know many people want to see because that buildup would be hilarious. But another big fight. And as long as he continues to have a win or two in between these things, his name, his way he speaks, and what he brings to the table from a financial standpoint will continue to propel Edgar Berlanga into contention for other big fights because he's marketing himself in the right ways.